Hello, my name is Max Bruno and welcome to Page by Crippled Page, the series in which I read Donald Trump's Crippled America, How to Make America Great Again, verbatim and without judgment so that you can make your own decisions. So without further ado, I will continue with my reading with Chapter 4, Foreign Policy, Fighting for Peace. The career diplomats who got us into many foreign policy messes say I have no experience in foreign policy. They think that successful diplomacy requires years of experience and an understanding of all the nuances that have to be carefully considered before reaching a conclusion. Only then do these pinstriped bureaucrats consider taking action. It's really very sad. I don't need years of experience or an understanding of all the nuances to know that the world is a terrible mess, and that's putting it kindly. Of course, I have to put it kindly, so the whole pinstriped media doesn't get their pinstriped panties in a wad. Here's a fact, though. There has never been a more dangerous time. Some so-called, quote, experts, unquote, are trying to scare people by saying that this isn't true. I'm disappointed by the scare tactics of these, quote, political scientists, unquote, who try to say that the world isn't as dangerous as I say it is. Don't believe them. Believe me, America. You personally are in grave, terrible danger at literally every instant. Some say that my approach will actually make the world more dangerous. More dangerous? More dangerous than what? More dangerous than where we are now? That's absolutely impossible. And it's so obvious, it's pathetic. This is why these pinstriped number jockeys have no credibility. All any American has to do is look around them to see that it is totally unthinkable that the world could become any more dangerous than it already is. We're not falling for their scare tactic spin. We know that America is on the edge of being overrun with terrorists and rapists at any second. We can feel it. And that means nobody can tell us it isn't true. So the question becomes, what do we do about it? Here's what I know. What we are doing now isn't working, and years ago, when I was just starting out in business, I figured out a pretty simple approach that has always worked well for me. When you're digging deeper into a hole, stop digging. This is all I really need to know to fix our foreign policy, because it really is that simple. We're in a hole, digging deeper and deeper, and we just need to put down our shovel. That's my foreign policy platform, turning this hole we've been digging into a swimming pool, a luxury one, with jacuzzi jets, and building a wall around it to keep the riffraff out. My approach to foreign policy is built on a strong foundation. Operate from strength. That means we have to maintain the strongest military in the world, by far. As president, I will double the size and strength of our military with a lot more soldiers and better weapons. And Mexico is going to pay for it. Speaking of Mexico, my Mexican friend Tito is a veteran of Afghanistan. He has described to me some of the horrors of that conflict, from taking fire in improperly armored vehicles to having to make difficult decisions in a split second about who was a dangerous combatant and who was an innocent civilian. This is the state of our military under these pinstriped generals who would rather dig a hole than swim in a luxury pool. The Trump army would not have to deal with any of these problems. Their tanks and Humvees wouldn't just be armored, they would be classed up with leather interiors and solid gold trim. My critics will say that this is an exorbitant and unjustifiable expense, but what they don't understand is that it sends an important message to our enemies. America is the most powerful country in the world, and we shouldn't be afraid to show it. Iron Mike Tyson, the famous fighter, once explained his philosophy, saying, quote, "Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." My plan is to punch our enemies in the mouth, and to do away with the hand-wringing that comes with trying to classify some enemies as, quote, combatants, unquote, and others as, quote, civilians, unquote. The Trump army will punch the world from the comfort of Bugattis mounted with 50 caliber guns, and the world will learn that we, like Mike Tyson, take exactly what we want and deserve. When people know that we will use force if necessary, and that we really mean it, we'll be treated differently. We'll be treated like Mike Tyson, with respect. That concludes this video's reading of Crippled America, How to Make America Great Again. That's Chapter 4, Part 1, Foreign Policy, Fighting for Peace. If you'd like to continue to engage with this exercise in political awareness, please follow this series, watch the videos, and tweet at me, at MaxHBruno. As you go about your day, into this political process, into this media landscape, and into the voting booth, remember, the truth is our greatest weapon.